Bam, there we go. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition here on Breaking the Baits, episode 58. Everybody put your hands together. We have made up to 58 episodes. I'm proud of that.
Golf clap, golf clap.
I'm going to go ahead and put But anyways, for the 58th episode, we decided to do something a little bit different. We're going to jump on the Kaiju genre. And for those who don't know what Kaiju means, it's basically giant monsters. Now, the most giant monsters that we're going to aim this toward specifically is going to be included with the upcoming MonsterVerse as well as past movies. So that's Godzilla, that's King Kong, because they did share a movie together. There's Mothra,
Rodan,
King Ghidorah, all of the fan favorites or whatever. So before we get into this video, I want to say, everybody that's listening to this video, not only do we wish you guys to share these videos, but also to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button, because we're going to come at you every week with new videos. We want y'all to watch those videos. So without further ado, let's jump on the Kaiju genre. Joining me today, of course, is Ken, who's always on the scene. Thank you, Ken, for joining us.
Always hiding in the shadows.
And we have MademB here too, who's a fan of the Kaiju genre.
Good to be here.
All right then, guys. So let's go ahead and get to it. Now, the Kaiju genre has been kind of a big thing, mostly in the Japanese culture. And, within the last 40, 50 years, it has come over this way to the Western world. So any general impressions on what's going on with the Kaiju genre, or what has been going on with the Kaiju genre? Either one of y'all?
I think it's very interesting that, see, I lived in Japan for many years as a kid, so this is Kaiju to me. I didn't know they were called Kaiju. I just called them monster movies. So, for me, seeing them over there was normal. When you always see the big giant monsters stomping on Tokyo and the army's coming in and Godzilla coming to save the day and everything along those lines. So that was normal for me. But then I came over here to the States. And you didn't have any of that stuff. And in fact, really, honestly, I mean, you've had a couple Godzilla remakes here and there, but for the most part, that style of movie was just not prominent until with Pacific Rim really kind of revitalized it for our more modern shows, where they had giant monsters and giant robots, two big things that everybody loves. Well, some of us love. So bringing that has kind of reinvigorated the Kaiju or the large monster movie. I mean, we saw King Kong. Well, I haven't seen it yet. I know you saw it.
Yeah, the Kong Skull Island.
Yep, Kong Skull Island. We've had again several Godzilla movies, and even at the end of King Kong, there's some hinkling to what we're talking about tonight: Kaiju, other things that have been noted for
in the MonsterVerse.
Yep. Monster Island. I remember watching it as a kid. Godzilla, Godzuki, Monster Island. Mothra, Rodan, Gamora. God, I can't think of all the other ones. You had all these movies, and we're talking dating back to like 1954. Is some of the first reported Japanese, basically early Godzilla movies. Dudes in big monster rubber suits. But 1904 people, that is a long time ago. Only a few years after World War II, if that gives you any idea. So we've had lots and lots and lots of movies, and lots of upgrades too. I mean, of course, the cheesy rubber man suits and stuff like that that's what makes the movie. That's what made them entertaining. But that was state of the art. These flying movies, if you've ever seen any of the, probably the mid-70s, 80s Godzilla movies, most people are familiar with, you've got all kind of crazy stuff going on in there, and the little tanks and stuff. It's great. It's awesome. But now you got Pacific Rim comes in there and throws in, like, what the heck were we watching before? I mean, you have some awesome filmography, special effects. You've got the Jaegers. You've got the I was trying to find all the what they call them, all the kaiju from the Pacific Rim world, but you see many of them and they explain them in detail and then they give you, what they are. And, I wish they had, we got Pacific Rim 2 coming out in, 2 years or a year and a half. So you're going to get some more cool monsters and more cool Jaegers.
So they actually finalized it?
As far as I know, they actually started filming last week. Since Star Trek, or boy, I messed that one up. Star Wars 8 concluded filming and finalizing for their release this year. Jason Boyega is one of the stars in Pacific Rim 2. So they have, as far as I know, started some initial filming and stuff for the movie. So not too far in the future, people. Not too far. How about some of your favorite kaiju?
Pacific Rim is about giant monsters basically invading our world and humanity, building these giant robots to fight them.
Yep.
That's it, pretty much in a nutshell.
Yep. That is exactly it.
Yeah.
But it looks freaking sweet.
I liked how the robots kind of were like plots. I mean, they were over the top of plots.
I like their styling and stuff. Everybody had a different, you had the Russians, the Japanese, the Australians, the U.S. Missing one.
I think it was a Japanese. You said Japanese, right?
Yeah, there was a Japanese one. That was the 3-armed one.
Then they had a
Russian one, which was the big, bulky-looking monster one. There was the Gypsy Rose, which is the U.S. version. And there was
not like that. Like they were humanoid robots.
Oh, okay.
Well, kind of, sort of.
I think we got it here. So I'm gonna show it to you when we get a chance. But you saw the Godzilla movie, right, Ken? The one that came out in 2014. Yeah.
No, I have not. It's terrible. I'm telling you, it's terrible. But I pretty much know the movie, though.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you then, MademB. What was your impressions of the Godzilla movie?
Which one?
The one that came out in 2014. We watched a couple of nights ago.
Oh.
The pressure's on.
Okay. Okay, I thought you was talking about the one where he looked like a lizard.
No, I'm talking about the one we was watching the other day.
That was filmed in Japan somewhere?
No, like over here. That was America.
In San Francisco.
What? They did a pretty good job. I guess with the design. I mean, I seen the Godzilla, or the one I filmed in I guess it was Tokyo. When he was supposed to be fighting Mothra. And the designs besides his scales, I don't think it didn't differ. It didn't differ that much. Not to me, it didn't. It's pretty good though.
Okay. So what did you think about the overall movie? Do you think like with the now I know we brought this up. In fact, I'm gonna include Ken in this conversation. Now we know what the Godzilla mythology, how it started off with Godzilla. I think it was one aspect they said it was an ancient dinosaur, but they changed it and said he was a lizard who was iguana, something like that,
and became ginormous.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Now in the new MonsterVerse, and this like the monsters have different origins. In this one, Godzilla is an ancient creature that was, I guess, dormant, or he lived deep, like in underwater. So we really didn't know about him until like recently, or
well, it was attracted to radiation.
I'm not going to say that he was that we didn't know about him, because they did know about him, and I think a lot of the Leviathan, Kraken urban legends were born from him, but he just didn't show up all the time. But in this new one, he was an ancient creature that lived deep underground in the water and stuff. Then he started to, I guess, come up a little bit more often now. So, like with the origins, and I've told her this too. I never liked the origins for almost any of the monsters in the original ones. And I know it was for that time it was good, but like now I don't like the origins because they don't make sense. And I told her if Godzilla was a lizard born from radiation, I mean, you know, who grown from radiation, why was he the only animal on that island? Or you know what I'm saying, in that area that happened.
You're getting so technical.
I'm sorry, but I'm like, I think about it, like, why weren't there any fish?
Do you know what the term suspension of disbelief is?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying. I've never liked that. I always question
We're
that.
talking a movie that was made in 1954, just after freaking Hiroshima and Nagasaki got vaporized off the face of the earth. The most powerful weapon that's ever been used in any war. And so, you know, they take the storytelling and throw a little fantasy in there, and we have that one special little lizard who happens to get irradiated by nuclear testing, who comes to the world to destroy Tokyo of all places. You know, why is it always Tokyo? You know? Can't he pick another like country to go pick on? I mean, the hell, they got blown up already, and now you got this giant lizard destroying Tokyo again. But here's the other thing too. You know, the thing that always got me is later in the Kaiju movies, like in the 60s and 70s, Godzilla becomes more of not necessarily a nuisance, but more of a hero per se. You know, defeating the other monsters and. You know, of course, you got to stomp on Tokyo just a little bit, but, you know, for the most part, gets rid of all the other monsters and keeps stuff on Monster Island. Why do you think about that? Yeah. You know,
in terms of him being that way, like, does that work for you? Him being basically the champion of humanity, defending humanity from monsters?
Well, it changes. That's the thing, you know. Another well-known one is King Kong, and in the latest movie, he's basically the Billy Badass of Monster Island. But if you go back to 1962, you know, they fight it out pretty darn good. In fact, I say who won that one. I think Godzilla did win that one. But you know, you have a lot of different stories of creatures starting. And I do like the modernization because, I mean, you know, we've talked 70 years have passed since, you know, 1954 and nuclear weapons being used. But, and you do have to update because, I mean, we have a different audience now. You're not talking an audience who's in their 90s. You're talking an audience who's in their 18s and 20s, 25, you know, trying to see these movies. And you got to be able to bring them in somehow, some way into this series. You know, like Del Toro, you know, was talking about that exact, you know, that whole process. And there's an interview I ran across, I think it was on IO9, the website, and it was talking about, you know, what inspired him to create those movies. I mean, he has other really cool stuff out there, but why big monsters? Why big machines? You know, what's the catch? And it's basically, it was a lost art of storytelling. You know, granted, we always have nightmarish creatures and everything, but they're all small and tiny and really more of a psychological threat. Wait till you get a 200 or 300 foot monster come stomping on you, and what do? How do you stop it? You know, that's the whole storyline of Pacific Rim. You know, they had to use tactical nukes to even stop them, but at what cost? You know, whole cities were being vaporized trying to stop these giant monsters from stomping on the city. So, you know, I think a lot of these monsters too kind of also kind of had like a subtext to them. I was trying to find it real quick here. There was one of the Godzilla movies. What was that name? It was like a creature that was like a glob. Like a...
Yeah, it was born from like sewage or something like that.
It was like toxic waste and stuff, and it fed on toxic waste and oil and stuff. And, you know, it's kind of like also trying to bring a message, you know, at that time into, you know, we should stop doing stuff like that, stop being that bad. And, you know, it kind of had another meaning to it, which was, you know, not the only one, but that's the one that comes to my mind because I was looking at the some of the top, what do they call them, 10, 15 Hedra. That's not what it's called. 1971. You know, this glob monster, you know, and they're fighting. It's all about pollution. So it's pretty wild.
Who said he was a lizard?
I think that was like...
That's one of the Japanese origin stories of Godzilla. He was like an iguana or something.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'll go back to the Wayback Machine. Hang on. Let's go back to the Wayback Machine.
I don't even believe that. I would rather go with the impression that he was just one of the, I don't know, the many dinosaurs that didn't die. Maybe he got buried
that's
under.
Also been one of the things out there too.
Yeah.
That's been
he got buried under all this, you know, lava, which was, you know, why in some of the movies he came out of lava. He's coming from underneath all that, the hot core of the earth, which is, you know, why it can bounce off of him. Like, you know, that's why his skin is, you know, like that. Yeah, I would rather believe that than some baby lizard just grew up.
There's been several different versions of Godzilla over the last 70 years. And
I want to ask you. I want to ask you. The 1999 version. I know everybody crapped on it because they was like, well, this is America's trying to Americanize Godzilla and stuff like that. But this is one thing I like about America compared to Japan, or from what I've seen so far. Their stuff is over the top. When it comes to America, their stuff is more grounded. Now, granted, that Godzilla in Japan, you know, he's like the king of all monsters and all that. Fine, I give him that. But I will say that I like the American one version better because it did make more sense. Like, it was more grounded. Like,
it's more believable.
You can look at it. Yeah, you can look at it and be like, okay, I can see that this thing evolved from a lizard. Mm-hmm. Even the way it acted like an animal. It didn't act like a person.
Well, to be honest, I don't know. I laughed at that movie. What I saw of it, I laughed. Almost like, and since it was VHS, I almost tore the VHS up because what my mama, she liked Godzilla. Yeah. So, you know, she was like, you know, I seen some Godzilla movies of what he is like now. And then when I seen that, I'm like, no. I'm like, it's a lizard. He's running. I'm like, no. I'm like, why?
But
so
that because like I said,
mean, yeah, that's because, you know, it was like mama, and then my mama, she was like, well, Japan, they ain't just gonna give Godzilla to the United States. It was funny.
Here's some 1954 information for you about the original Godzilla. Godzilla is really a prehistoric hybrid of land and sea reptiles. Discovered that from the sediment of his footprint contained massive amounts of strontium-90, which could have only come from a nuclear bomb. Krauss, blah, 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 blah. Godzilla is the product of atomic weapons. Though the truth may cause some bad stuff. And that's from 1954. So not necessarily exactly evolution from a lizard, but a hybrid, a prehistoric hybrid. It's in there somewhere.
A hybrid of what? Like
land and sea reptiles.
It's an Indominus Rex from Jurassic Park 4.
Yeah, with less laser beams and death.
Okay, let's say a hybrid of what? There are plenty of reptiles.
Iguana.
It's basically a giant alligator.
Oh, it's an iguana.
Maybe alligator, lizard,
and that's
salamander.
Why I say, and that's why I say like the physical form isn't supported because it looks totally different. And that's why I give the American version more credit because it actually looked like a lizard. This one looked like something from Pacific Rim.
But on the monster
but it's 1954. Come on. They didn't have
dog in the
CGI.
face.
They had Play-Doh.
Yeah, he always changes in the face in some kind of way.
Yeah, he like a dog in the face. Like
The one thing that always changes, well, actually, one thing that always stays the same is typically size, the fire breath, and the lighting up of the spines.
I don't know, like, and I don't know which one this is. Like, I'm looking at, it's like he's fat in one movie, and it was like he lost weight and grew taller in another movie, and then yeah, it's like his scales are somewhat the same.
He really changes form when
he changes here and there in almost every movie.
Yeah, there's always subtle changes, but in the long run, it's always like Godzilla 1954 to 1998 was always one way. And now you have a completely Americanized version of Godzilla now. Completely different.
I actually would have liked to seen America continue on with that Godzilla and see where they could have taken that. I mean, but that's me. I like something that's plausible and it's a good idea. I mean, granted, the humor, some of the characters and stuff, okay, I get behind you on that. But as far as the Godzilla design, the way it moved, the way it acted, the babies, like all of that, I was good with. It all made sense. But I don't want to get hung up too much on the 1999 version. I did want to have her point out, like, what monsters do you want to see in the new MonsterVerse? Because they've already been somewhat confirmed that Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah is going to be making their appearances, as well as, of course, Godzilla and Kong. The Muto from the new Godzilla movie were really interesting antagonists, and they actually held their own in the whole Kaiju thing. Like, they were memorable. Like, but what other monsters do y'all want to see when it comes to, like, if Kong has to make another movie, what would you like to see him fight against? Would you want to see him fight against a Godzilla antagonist, or perhaps a new antagonist?
He could go against him. Fight a machine robot, big giant robot.
I don't want to see no robots. Now, if they reboot it and then they fuse, like, if they can do like a separate thing where Godzilla makes an appearance in Pacific Rim and fits in that story, I'm all for it.
No, they won't do that. There's too much copyright. There's too much copyright in that.
There haven't been, except for, hold on, I'm seeing two. Rodan. Are they all going to be in it together? Or, like, I don't. Is this like movies that's coming out?
Yeah, it's a series. It's going to be Godzilla. It's Godzilla, King Kong, Godzilla 2, Godzilla versus King Kong. And this is a safe bet to say that they're going to fight in that movie, and neither one going to win because another threat's going to come.
Yeah, they've always done that in the past.
And I think that's basically what it's going to boil down.
They'll fight each other until something bigger and badder shows up, which will probably be King Ghidorah, or Ghidra, however you want to say it. That one will probably be the one that interferes in that one. I
want to see how they pull Mothra off.
Mothra would be interesting. Rodan would be interesting. Rodan's a bird. Mothra is a bug.
Because
I'm trying to remember this one. The Destroyer. That's the one I want to see.
Like with the whole Mothra. I want to see how they bring it into the fray, because in the show he was like somewhat supernatural.
Yeah.
I wouldn't actually say supernatural. Okay, what do you mean by supernatural? Which one are you talking about?
Mothra.
I'm like, it was like like you could call it and stuff and all of that.
He was
the little people, remember? The two little priestesses could call it.
What?
He was a protector. They called him when they was in trouble.
But I'm like, they're not gonna be able to do that now. They can't bring out the little chibi chicks and they sing And they're so small, a regular person is gonna be able to hear them. So how this bug is gonna hear them, and this thing is gonna be like what 1,000 times bigger than a regular person?
Okay, so now you picking fun now.
But that's what I'm saying. They're not gonna be able to do it now, especially with the way they changed up how the storyline goes with them. Which is why when Godzilla first came out, during the trailer, you see a scene where one of the Muto was flying around a building, and everybody thought that was Mothra. So it's like how are they going to do that?
Well, okay, Mothra, of course, started off as so are they going to reintroduce or just introduce him as Mothra the Moth, the big pretty moth?
That's a good question.
Mothra.
That's a good question.
I like that song on there. I don't care what you say.
Wow.
It was cool.
Okay, what about Rodan? He was a
giant bird.
Hatched from an egg, a bird. So how are they gonna do that?
Giant bird egg.
About that.
And Ghidra, did anybody see how Ghidra was formed when the meteorite fell or whatever that was, and Ghidra versus Godzilla or whatever?
Which one was Ghidra? Hold on a second.
The three-headed monster. Ghidra, Ghidorah, whatever.
King, yeah. That's the three-headed king one.
In some incarnations, he was created. Some incarnations, he was some like a supernatural creature. And in some, it's like he's got like 3 or 4 different origins.
All right, now that I actually think about it, the way in Ghidra three-headed monster, the way that he was created from the what was it, a meteorite?
Was it a meteorite?
Cause it's something that magnetically, you know how it did any of y'all see the movie?
It's been a while for me, I'm not gonna lie. It's been forever.
It's been
when did Godzilla come to the States? It was 1950 something.
Oh no, that was with Perry King in it. It was probably in the 60s.
That's about the last time I said Godzilla.
You weren't even alive then. I don't hear it. Neither was I. You didn't see nothing. You're not cracked. Hell, I wasn't even born. I remember the first one I watched had Perry Mason in it, or Perry. God, I can't think of his name now. I went blank. But anyway, it was one of the first English translated Godzilla movies. That was the first one that hits the States. And I was trying to find the title for it, but I'm just completely not finding it at the moment. I think it was actually the one with the bug or the slimy creature. Ooh, let's see.
I'm interested in seeing Destroyer. I don't know if y'all have seen the Godzilla 2000. And for as much as I didn't like the movie because I didn't like the story, the aliens aspect I didn't mind. The human aspect I didn't like. But when it transformed into that alien creature called Orga, like I wouldn't mind seeing them fight that.
Have some outside world creature come and attack everybody. They would have to do something like that, really.
Not maybe particularly an outside creature from the outside, but that creature itself, because it kind of looked like I don't know if you play Fallout, but it kind of reminds me of like a Mirelurk.
Nope, got me there.
Like a big crab.
Oh, giant crab, huh?
Because I remember at one point it did try to eat Godzilla.
Oh yeah, well, there was one with this really cool one. That would be neat. What was that thing in there? It was like a turtle-looking thing.
The one, it was the one with the spikes on it. Oh no, you talking about Gamera?
No.
Okay, what was about to say? Because we don't need no giant turtles flying through the air with boosters in this thing.
Hang on. I want some giant flying turtle. Hold on.
Wow, really?
Yes, really. Remember it stabbed. Remember it stabbed Godzilla and put that parasite in him, and they had to go in there and try to save him because he was all sick up, and they had to go and do the voyage to the center of the earth and Godzilla.
I ain't seen it, so I don't know what y'all talking about.
I know there was two turtle-ish types. It was one was on 4 legs. Well, both of them were on 4 legs. No, one looked like a dog with a horn, and the other one looked like
an armor-plated turtle.
Yeah, Angoris. Like that one looks like an ancient, like dinosaur type-ish monster. Like I could get behind that monster showing up.
Yeah, and it stabbed freaking Godzilla in the leg, made him all shut down because he was like being a host for like its next kid. And I cannot find that stupid name of that freaking turtle. But anyway, that's the one I'd like to see.
That's definitely the one on me.
How about the robot Godzilla?
No, absolutely. I was about to say, don't bring him in. Don't bring in Jet Jagger either.
How about
any momentum for suspension of disbelief?
You want an organic monster of the kaiju genre? Is what you want.
Yeah. It's like I wanted to make sense. Like like now, ain't nobody gonna build no giant Godzilla to fight no Godzilla.
Oh, come on, why not?
Well, they built the Mega Shark to fight the shark.
And you see how poorly that movie did.
Yeah, it's already direct to TV. We skipped DVD. We went straight for TV. Sci-Fi Channel hotspot. But
I mean, I said the monsters were cool. I'll give them that. They had some pretty cool monsters.
There are some pretty neat stuff on Sci-Fi. Even if they are cheesy.
The monsters, I don't mind. Like the monsters, like I said, I don't mind. I just like they got to make sense. Like
you want them to make sense as like how they're being introduced to the story.
Like back in the day, they could introduce almost every monster had a different introduction.
Yeah.
Like if there was 20 monsters, all of them were born 20 different ways.
Yeah, but you also had everything was coming from Monster Island too, except for the space ones.
Yeah, that was a Monster Island. I don't believe the Monster Island thing. I didn't like that.
Come on. It was in the movie.
Because this is why. Because the monsters were too big. And all of those monsters can't stay on one island.
But they never said how big Monster Island was.
The only way Monster Island could be the only size Monster Island can be and the monsters can somewhat live their lives is pretty much as if the island is about as big as the United States. They need that kind of ground.
Could be.
It's
Monster Island.
They're all come from different environments.
Yeah, they're all born from different environments too.
See, Godzilla, he needs to be in the sea under whatever. Ghidorah, he needs, I don't know how the hell he was formed from a meteorite. So they got to do good with Ghidorah. However they wanted to introduce him. Mothra
was a worm to begin with.
They will have to start him back probably as a worm because in Ghidorah, he was a worm. Did y'all know that? Because
yeah, I remember.
Mothra had died. That's what the fairy said.
He was an ugly worm too.
He was ugly as hell. I'm like, okay,
he was streaming everybody though.
I'm like, on Mothra and Godzilla, at least he was a pretty worm with blue eyes. Now this one, and I forgot that Rodan was also in Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. So yeah, they had these three monsters trying to get rid of Ghidorah, and you chop off his head and one grow back.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a hard one to kill.
Yeah.
Okay, I would buy the whole Mothra thing if he was somewhat similar to the Muto things. Because how long did it take that one Muto to gestate? Like 15 years? But he was dormant for what? Like millions?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, remember when that when he destroyed the radioactive place?
Yeah.
And then it came back to present day. That's 15 years. Because you started off as like a larva. Same thing with the female one. So I could kind of buy it if it was like an offshoot of them. I give Mothra a pass on that one.
Oh, you just need to make it over the top cool. It's well, not really.
I mean, like I said, I love the kaiju thing, and I think some of them are good ideas, but like you can't play that. Like that
he is gonna flip out if Mothra just come in and turn into a big butterfly. He gonna flip out.
He'll flip out if it just comes in just like that, right out of the boom. There we go. No bug.
Where did it come from?
Monster Island. Everything comes from Monster Island. We all know this. Come on. It's just a different Monster Island. It's Monster Island 2. It's right next to Jurassic Park.
Site C. No, Site K for Kaiju.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the the feeding ground for Mothra and all them. We're gonna be eating the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. Who's gonna stop by for a snack on the way in?
That would probably be a good one. How would that go?
That would be interesting.
Jurassic World versus Kaiju monsters. I don't know.
T-Rex would be pretty hungry.
They're gonna get that's gonna be a very short movie because all you're gonna hear is chomping the whole movie.
You're gonna hear
it's gonna be
the step squish. Movie over. Oh, I stepped on something. What's that on my toes? Ugh, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Gross.
I'm like, wow. That's Jurassic World for you.
That'd be $1 billion movie in graphical effects and 30 seconds of film.
But okay, this is another way I could see they could probably play it off. You hadn't seen Kong Skull Island.
No, I know the storyline now.
I ain't gonna like spoil anything big, but he was. Yeah, Skull Island always kind of been this one island that's been like by itself, and nobody knew it was until somebody stumbled upon it, right?
Monster Island, bingo.
All right, now I can understand it if there was multiple ones, because and this is why I said the Monster Island thing ain't that plausible, because Kong was on that island, right? And there were other big monsters there, but there was nothing bigger than him. Like that was his territory, like the whole island. And like if there's another island,
so you want to have a Skull Island and a Monster Island? Is that what you're saying?
Like there's got to be multiple ones.
Well, I could get if it was multiple, because like I said, they live in different environments. They can't all just stay on.
Well, they could have come out of the mountains in China. No one would ever know because no one lives there. You have all these other land masses that nobody knows about. So
and then you think about it. And then, like I said, that's why another thing about the Monster Island: if all the monsters stay there, why aren't there more of their species? Why are they? It's like all of them are the last and the only one of the species. That's why I'm like, Monster Island is an interesting idea, but it's not plausible. Not unless it's pretty much a continent.
You're thinking.
Where's Godzilla's mate? I would like to see Godzilla have a female mate.
Like if there's one Mothra, there should be several. Because
it's a species versus just a uniqueness.
Yeah. Like
because there was other giant Kongs. He was the last one, obviously. Well, at least they showed it.
Yeah, they had a reason. Yeah, they had a reason why.
Yeah, they all got killed by the bone eaters. Or the skull and things.
I did not say anything. Is it the right ones? Okay. Them ain't the right ones. You just not.
Press the other button.
Okay. Well, we talking about this whole thing about Kong. Okay. Which one? Did you see the Godzilla versus King Kong back in the day?
The really cheesy one, yeah. That's the one you see. I've seen better costumes in Walmart. But again, we're dealing with what time frame? 1960, 1950. That was state of the art, people. State of the art.
To their credit,
cool ones,
it wasn't supposed to be Kong. It was supposed to be
some giant monkey.
Frankenstein.
What?
Okay.
Really?
It was supposed to be Frankenstein they were fighting, but they switched it to Kong, which is why when the lightning hit him, he got stronger. And another thing that's got me interested about let me finish this train of thought first. The funniest part, Godzilla owned Kong in that movie. He completely owned him. I mean, Kong might have got a lick or two in, but Godzilla completely should have won that fight. And the funniest thing I've ever seen, it was completely ridiculous. But Kong picked up a boulder, threw it at Godzilla. For some reason, he rolled after he threw it and hit his head on a rock and knocked himself out. I said, who wrote this?
Some Japanese guy.
But he was out for the count too. But I'm interested to see how these two are going to be fighting. Because one thing I liked about the Godzilla movie, the new one, he didn't just outright start using his nuclear blast or whatever, like right out. It took him a while to build up to it.
Well, so at least they, still had it. I mean, that's just the most important weapon that Godzilla's got. That flame laser or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, heat blast.
Who is Mega Nulon?
Mega Nulon.
Because it's like, I think that's another name for Rodan. And they said he's a prehistoric dragonfly.
I didn't hear that. I don't think I remember seeing.
Oh, Megalon. Megalon.
No, Mega Nula.
Megalon. Looks like a big bug.
I kind of want to see not a space Godzilla, but some variation of Godzilla.
Another variety of lizard.
Whatever his species is, some kind of offshoot of it. I wouldn't mind seeing one of those. Like Space Godzilla is kind of like Godzilla, but he's from space. He's
got the big glowing arms and stuff. He actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah, but I mean, he does. I'll give him that. But I want to see him fight another variation of himself. Maybe something that's slightly bulkier or a little bit skinnier, but has bigger spikes or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
More armor.
Something that's like.
Well, that would be his daddy.
Well, you got Godzilla.
Godzilla.
You can always have Godzilla.
No. No. You know what Godzilla reminds me of? That little baby dinosaur from the dinosaurs. It was like, not the mama.
That's I love that show.
Not the mama.
I can't wait. They're supposed to be bringing that back.
I don't know. Do they know if he's a male or a female?
Who? Godzilla?
Do they know if any of them are male or female besides the one they had on the Godzilla? When the what do you call it? The Menudo. There was a male and a female. But how do they know that? Like Rodan,
how does Godzilla have a son?
Godzilla, Ghidorah.
How does Godzilla have a kid? Dun 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 dun. Good question.
Somebody said that he was like a unisex or something like that.
Like the reptiles.
The way he could just have a baby.
They changed their sex to meet the needs of the environment.
Yeah. I heard that. I was like, I could kind of buy it, but I'm not sure.
That's been one of the floating theories. But there's never been anything to solidify it, except for Godzilla 29 or whatever it was, 1999, where that Godzilla was obviously female. Yeah. So.
But in the movie Rodan, there were two Rodans, because at the end you saw two when they were getting all heated up by the lava, you did see two. So I don't know if it was two males or male and a female, but it was kind of sad the way it's getting drowned in all that lava.
And drowning some lava.
Yeah, that's how they got rid of Rodan in the Rodan movie back in I don't know what year it was, 50s, 60s.
Is that the one where the
yeah, with the little beetles?
Yeah, that's the one where there was that one guy was in the jet and Rodan somehow ate him out the jet. I remember that scene because I kept rewinding it, trying to see what happened.
I mean, well, you got to get it to him back in them days.
I'm gonna get it to him, right? I mean, the whole kaiju genre, I want to see more of. I really do. Think about Cloverfield. It was an earthquake underwater, which woke him up, which woke it up. Then it started terrorizing the city. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a bad idea, right there.
That sounds like a Godzilla movie to me.
MonsterVerse.
Tokyo.
Yeah, and they say the new MonsterVerse, monsters are actually coming up from deep underground. So what monsters should there be? You know what I mean?
Cities. There's all kind of cool stuff we can do with. You can come up with just about any story for any monster. There's so much undiscovered area. You know, you could come up with some crazy stuff. And the question is, being at such a large scale, why hasn't it been seen so far? You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Creepy creatures, people. Creepy creatures. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it's that magic tone that we hear every week. And sadly, that wraps up this hour of Kaiju.
Now, I know we rambled a bit, but we had a really good conversation on this one.
Well, that's the whole point. As long as we don't stab or kill anybody, we're all right.
Yeah. All right, guys, y'all heard our take on the Kaiju. We most likely will come back to this later on, whether we're going to break down the Godzilla storylines, whether we're going to jump on the King Kong storylines. But we'll probably definitely jump back on this subject. We'll probably even more voices. I'm glad to actually have MademB and Ken here, so it's definitely bringing in some new juice into the conversation. And with that being said, let's wrap this on up. Guys, in the comment section below, let us know what kind of kaiju do you want to see in the new MonsterVerse? Which ones are your absolute favorite? And do you like the new direction that they're taking this? The MonsterVerse kaiju genre? And guys, do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification button because you know you want to hear some more good stuff from us. So right now, we're about to take us a quick break and join us for part 2 of what we're going to be doing tonight, which is the best and worst films by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's why you better come back and join us.
That's definitely a change in pace and tone right there. But we'll see you guys in a few. All right, then. Y'all want to say bye?
Bye.
Peace.